Hey guys, it's Trish here again, and I'm back with day number 9 of the holiday card series. Today my card's being featured over on the BRI blog, so be sure to head on over there and check out all the details. You can also click the links down below in the description box that will take you directly to the BRI store. So today I'm starting out with a 4.5 by 4.5 card. I normally do A2, but because of the stamp set that I'm using, I'm scaling it down quite a bit. I'm using the Sleigh Bells Ring paper pad from My Favorite Things, and I really love this pattern paper. It's just really traditional, but there's some different geometric patterns. It's just really beautiful, and I've been really shying away from pattern paper lately because when I mass produce cards, I like to stay away because when I create one, I feel like all of them have to be exactly the same, and I don't have enough pattern paper for that. But that definitely is not the case when you mass produce. You can use any color paper, all different ones. You can use a whole paper pad. And this card would be pretty quick and simple to mass produce, but enough jibber jabber for me. I'm using a stamp set from Neat and Tangled entitled Very Merry, and this is my first stamp set from them, and I'm really loving it. And the BRI store has a ton of Neat and Tangled stamp sets for the holidays that are just gorgeous from them, and I have purchased a couple more, and I see myself using quite a few of them. Maybe not for the holiday series this year, but yeah, they're great quality, and this one especially, I love that big, scripty, bold, merry sentiment that comes with it. So first thing that I'm doing is I have taken the Merry, I've placed it on my stamp press, and I've used some Versamark ink and really used the stamp press to get all the corners because this is such a big, bold sentiment. I don't want to miss any parts. And then I've gone ahead and sprinkled some of the Ranger Detailed Gold Embossing Powder, just so I know exactly where it is so I'm not overlapping anything. And then I'm going in and I'm using the Christmas stamp set from the same set, and I'm stamping that right below. I'm not heat setting any of it yet because I am going to be stamping these stars up at the top, and I want to do that all in one shot. But so that I don't have any stars overlapping or sentiments overlapping, I like to do it in stages. So that's why I've stamped the Merry. I've gone ahead and applied the embossing powder so I see exactly where it is, and then I've stamped the Christmas. Again, use the embossing powder to see where it is, and then I'm doing the same thing with the star pattern. I love these stars. They're like falling stars. You can use them for absolutely anything. Doesn't just have to be for a Christmas card. And so I've stamped it once, put the embossing powder on it, and then I'm going to be stamping it again to the right, and then I'll stamp it again to the left, and then I'll apply embossing powder again so I see where it is, and then I'll finish off the rest of the card with some embossing powder, or I'll stamp it again and then apply embossing powder to finish the whole top part. So it looks like these stars are kind of raining down on the Merry Christmas sentiment. I really like this stamp set, like I mentioned, and I did scale down the card 4.5 by 4.5 because I wanted there to not be too many dead or blank spaces around the card. So I feel like this was a really good size for the design that I was going for. This red and white striped paper happens to measure 4.25 by 4.25 just because I wanted to have it mat the base of the card. So you'll see there that I have a little bit of like a big spot of embossing powder. That's because I actually pressed on my stamp block just a little bit too hard. And you'll see here that I try to clean it up around the star, but it didn't work out, so I just brushed the whole thing off. No big deal, it just happens to be a little bit more of an open space. I could restamp another star, but I just felt like nobody really would notice, so I just cleaned off that area, and I'm cleaning off any additional powder that did stick, even though I did use my EK Success powder tool. This does happen from time to time, no big deal. I just use a dry paintbrush that I use specifically for this purpose, and just brush off that extra embossing powder so it's not clung onto the card. So again, you'll see here I'm stamping the last stars. I'm rotating the stamp a little bit to fill in some of the open areas between the stars. And then I'll go ahead and apply the embossing powder again. And then once I've done that, I'll go ahead and heat set the whole entire thing. Now this card could totally be done in gold, silver, liquid platinum. It's really your choice. I just love that classic red, white, gold, black Christmas feel. So that's what I've gone ahead and done. You'll see up top that the piece has been totally heat embossed, and despite what you saw at the beginning of the video, I changed my mind and decided that I needed a white card base because I really wanted this panel to just pop. And I felt like it was getting a little too lost with the craft cardstock. And here you see me dancing a little bit to some Christmas music that I have playing while I was recording this. And I apologize completely 100%, but this happens sometimes. And while I'm editing these videos, I sometimes miss these portions and forget to cancel them out of here. So this is just my usual kooky self while I'm creating a card. I have Christmas music blaring in the background and I'm dancing in my seat, and it kind of happens. So I felt like the bottom of the card, even though I had put the sentiment towards the bottom and really used those stars up at the top, I still felt like there was something missing. I felt like it was getting lost. So I thought that I would use some type of embellishment, whether it be an enamel dot or bling or these sleigh bells rings, actual wooden enamel dots or wooden dots that come with the set, but it just wasn't working for me. The wood ones are absolutely beautiful, but it was just getting lost in the card, and so I felt like I needed to just keep it traditional, and the gold wasn't matching perfectly and the silver was clashing, and so I just went traditional and I went red, white, gold, and black. You can't go wrong. And I love these. I've had these glitter dots for years now. I got them from Michaels, I believe, and yeah, I've had them for years. I use them here and there. I have a pack of silver, gold, black, and I believe pink, and they were on clearance when I bought them. So chances are you might not see it in the store, but they're in my stash, so I decided to use them. I've also decided that I wanted to pop up this panel, and I was going to use just regular foam tape, the 3M foam tape, but I wanted it to really be raised up off the card base, and so I'm just using some foam squares that you can get at your local craft store. This one happens to be coming from Michaels. It's their Recollections brand, and I like this because the thickness of it is really good. It's almost like double the dimension that you get from the 3M Scotch brand, and so every once in a while I like that little extra pop off the card. You'll see here that I did go quite crazy with it because I don't want my panel to sag in the center and only do the four corners. And because I did heat emboss this panel, I don't want the warping to affect how this card panel, or how this panel is going to be sitting on the card. So there it is attached. And now I'm just going to add that last little bit of something that is needed on this card. And I was thinking about just going with one basic, glitter dot, but it just, again, wasn't working for me. And I have to do an odd number because even just seems so weird. So I've gone ahead and I've attached 3 of the black glitter dots onto the card, and that completes the card for today. Super simple. Again, it could be mass produced with any kind of pattern paper. It doesn't have to just be one type of pattern paper. It can be a series of different sheets of pattern paper. I really hope you guys enjoyed this card. Be sure, like I mentioned, to check out the links below directly to the BRI store for these amazing products. And I'll see you guys in the next holiday series video.